What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're seeing me for the first time, my name is Sharlene Gumbo, and I just want to say thank you to all those who have subscribed. My channel has been growing in the past few days. At the moment, we are, at the time of filming this video, I have roughly about 1,000 subscribers, which I didn't think that I would have as soon as I did. So for that, I just want to say thank you. And in today's video, I am bringing back my personal finance videos. Those are really my favorite videos to make, and I hope you guys enjoy them too. This is from a book that I read, which is called The Psychology of Money. The section that I'm going to leave out about compounding, specifically around investing in the stock market, because I felt like the video was going to be way too long. And investing is a whole topic on its own, so I'm going to make a separate video for that. So if you want to see that video in the future, you definitely want to subscribe. So without wasting time, let's jump on right into the video. Now, the first financial lesson that I learned is no one is crazy, and never judge people's financial decisions because you don't know where they are coming from. People from different backgrounds, people from different countries, people from a different family who grew up in a different job market, who grew up in a different economy, who may have experienced inflation, they'll grow up with different perceptions of how money works. So if you ever see someone, let's say for instance, take me for instance, I grew up in Zimbabwe, and the inflation rates in Zimbabwe are crazy year on year. And then when I look at someone who probably grew up in America, where the inflation rate is like 7% per annum a year, and I'm like, oh, those are just rookie numbers. In Zimbabwe, we do like 200%, 300%. I know Zimbabwe is an outlier. My financial decisions are definitely not going to be the same if I solely make decisions based on where I grew up in. Whereas someone else who grew up in a country like the US, they are much more comfortable to invest in the stock market because, you know what, it can be trusted, it grows over time. Whereas in Zimbabwe, that's not always the case. Yes, it does grow, it does go up, but it's not really in real terms because there is some need to do some inflation adjustment. Financial lesson number 2, always acknowledge the existence of luck and risk. So take for instance someone like Bill Gates. He went to a very good school. He even says it in his documentary series that if it wasn't for the university that he went to, there would be no Microsoft today. And at that school, he had the exposure to getting a very good computer, which was way advanced than what other university graduates were even using at the time. So for him, it gave him that exposure, which in other words would consider to be luck. And so sometimes trying to replicate those big people who are very successful in life, it can only lead to frustrations because their situations are very much an outlier and they are not the norm. There are definitely so many complexities to someone's success for people, especially like Bill Gates. Moving on to financial lesson number 3, he says you need to figure out how much money is going to be enough, because we get in this loop where we set a goal for ourselves and then we're like, maybe if I achieve this, I'm going to stop working extra hard, taking very big risks, maybe until I reach the certain point. But then the moment you get there, you start to want more, you want to push the goalpost. So he just says that you need to get to a point where you're content. And next financial lesson, getting wealthy is not the same as staying wealthy. I so very much understand this. They say that it's kind of easy. So the millionaires say it's actually easy to make your first million, but it's so difficult for you to be able to keep that money, because once you start making a little bit of money, you want to buy a car to impress other people. People should see you. In my country, if you do not drive a very fancy car, how would we know that you've made it? How would you know? You need to let us know that things are working out for you now. So people tend to adjust their lifestyle once they make a little bit of money. But then the more you start adjusting things as you make more money, you start to also lose more money. So it's so easy to get to lose that wealth as well if you keep on spending. So as much as you're making more money, try to live way below your means, which is the very famous, very old rule that you need to try and live way below your means. Now moving on to lesson number 5, you only need to be right only once, just one time. You remember that classic example of that guy who invented the light bulb, how he had to try like more than 999 times, and then he got it on the 1000th time. So you just need to be right. All your failures will eventually cancel out. So don't be someone who's so very much afraid to fail, because failing is just part of learning. There are no sunk costs here. If you fail, you've just managed to get a new experience on how not to do it. So never be afraid to fail and just keep going for it. There are so many stories about people, successful entrepreneurs who got bankrupt at a certain point, but it only just took one event and one time that they were right for everything to just fall into place. So I feel like with success, especially with this whole thing of trying to build a business, it has this snowball effect that once you just get uphill and you just hit a jackpot, like everything will just fall into place. So don't worry about failing. I also feel like I want to embrace this a lot more this year as well, and experiment quite a lot of it with so many different things. Lesson number 6, use money to gain control of your time and freedom. So what this simply means is you just want to get to that point where you can afford to do what you want. You can do it when you want. You can do it with whoever you want and for as long as you want. That's the highest form of independence in this life. I know people say money can't buy you happiness. I definitely agree, but I'm not quite sure because I really can't relate. But anyway, money can't buy you happiness, but I feel like money does bring some comfort into the things that you're able to do. You're able to take care of your family, you're able to take care of your loved ones. And there are some conveniences that you can be able to not afford. It doesn't make you as a person happy, but it can definitely afford you so many things. And those are like the most important things in life, but those things need money for them to actually happen. So we should never ever overlook the importance of money. Lesson number 7, save. Just save. You don't need a specific reason to save. I know people tend to say, oh, I'm saving to buy a car, I'm saving to build a house, but sometimes you may not even know exactly what you want to do. So you can't wait to say until I've decided what I want to do, then I'll start saving. You just need to save for those moments that are unpredictable. Life is full of surprises. Things may change and you just want to be ready for the worst. My favorite quote, hope for the best but prepare for the worst. You just want to be ready, have an emergency fund. I know that saving may seem like a luxury, especially for people in my country, because here things are just so hard, the salaries are really low, so sometimes people can't really afford to save anything because they need to use that money for even food. It's probably not even enough on what they are earning. But I think it's important to try as much as you can. When you eventually get to a situation, to a point where you can start saving, try to at least save maybe $10 this month. Maybe next month you can even get to increase that savings rate to maybe $50. You start somewhere. You don't start saving that much money without starting with the small ones, with the small amounts. But a very comfortable savings rate, I would say at a minimum. The first level of saving for an emergency fund is 1 month, and then the next level is 3 to 6 months of expenses. Financial lesson number 8, there's a difference between being rich and being wealthy. We tend to judge wealth based on what we see, because that's the information that's presented to us. If I see someone driving a G-Wagon, I'm like, oh, this person has definitely made it. This person is sorted for life. And even if that person may not have bought that car on cash, maybe even if they bought it on credit, it means they have to be a certain level of income for you to be able to afford a $100,000 car. Being rich is mostly observed by the possessions that someone has. That is basically like the current income, but wealth is like the hidden things that you don't see. And wealthy people are also normally very much hush. They don't tend to put themselves out there. And wealth also is like the options that you have when you let go maybe of buying some lavish cars because maybe you feel like it's really not important. or maybe you are trying to maybe reap much more bigger benefits in the future, then you are considered to be much more wealthy because you have options and so much flexibility, and not all your money is tied in positions which are just flashy and trying to impress everyone. So that's the difference between being rich and wealthy. So you want to aim to be wealthy, not necessarily rich. If you are aiming to appear rich, then go for it. Who are we to stop you? Financial lesson number 9: avoid extreme ends of financial decisions. You don't always know what you want to do in the next 10 years based on past data or your current situation. If you look at our situation right now, the past 2 years, our lives have been turned upside down because of COVID. So you can never forecast the future based on the past knowledge that you have, because things change. They don't always stay the same. And you yourself, you're probably going to change. Your desires are going to change. Your goals, your things that you even like, the things that you even like doing for work may even change, may even want to change your career. So what this lesson simply means is try to make financial decisions that they have some room of adjustment. Don't make extreme decisions which can't be undone after maybe a certain period of time when you've changed your mind. Because let's face it, we are humans, we grow, we evolve, we learn new things, and we want to change certain things about our lives. Now, with that last lesson shared, this marks the end of the video. What I just want to leave with you guys is there's no right or wrong answer when it comes to dealing with personal finances. You need to do the things that make you feel happy, the things that make you sleep at night, knowing that you're managing your money well. We are just simply sharing lessons that we are learning that someone may find useful, and lessons that we are also applying in our lives. Without further ado, thank you guys so much for watching my video. If you made it this far, do feel free to subscribe to my channel if you found any value and you want to see more content like this about personal finance, self-development, entrepreneurship, my chartered accountancy career stuff. And if you feel like you have someone that you know who would probably benefit from this video, do share with them, and I truly appreciate all of your support. And thank you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.